gonna drop this. That's not gonna be good. Oh God! Why am I weaving pasta? That's a noodle top. Hello, my name's Shay. I like to make things and I feel like making something dumb again. So we're making a dress out of pasta. It sounds stupid and it is stupid, but I want to see if I can do it. A little bit of context. Just floating around the internet, I saw this image and it just stuck in my brain. So the question is, can I make a dress out of pasta? I don't actually know if this is possible. I'm kind of just going in blind here. So let's start with some research. So right off the bat, there's a couple of questions here. 1, should it be homemade or store-bought pasta? 2, what shape should the noodles be? And then 3, should the pasta be cooked or uncooked? Because cooked is obviously gonna be a lot more flexible and easy to weave, but uncooked will be a lot sturdier. I can cook it afterwards and that's kind of fun. This is one of those ideas that it was cool in concept, but the more I try and bring it into reality, the dumber it seems. If I learn how to knit for this video, that would be sad. I think before I make any real design choices, I need to run a couple tests and just see what variation of these 3 types I'm going to be using for my pasta dress. I really hope it's not homemade. I'm bad at pasta. So step 1, experimenting. I went to the store and bought a couple pre-made noodles as well as the supplies to make noodles and a little treat because I am but a girl. But I got a couple different pasta shapes. Options are skinny and round like a little tube, spaghetti, linguine, or pappardelle. Pappardelle. I didn't say that right and I'm so sorry. We have our 3 plates of pasta, spaghetti, linguine, and the one that starts with a P. So I'm just gonna try weaving them. I don't actually know how to knit, so I'm going to be weaving just over, under, over, under. And I'm gonna be doing it for all of the cooked noodle shapes as well as their dry noodle forms. I'm not expecting much from the dry noodles, but I'm gonna try it just for science. First pasta shape, spaghetti. Thought it'd be slimy. It's super sticky. It makes it really hard to make any sort of neat weave. That looks pretty good. Okay, dried pasta time. Let's try it. Yeah, dried pasta's not working. Pasta shape 2, linguine. I keep eating the pasta. I am liking the linguine better than the spaghetti. Look at her. That's actually really cute. Linguine is looking promising. And again, for science, we're trying dry pasta, but I don't have high hopes. It's just too brittle. It's just too brittle. Linguine dry pasta, fail. We are on to the 3rd and final pasta shape, the long and flat noodles. Ooh, this is nice. Not hard to weave, not breakable. This was definitely the easiest to make, but it's kind of the ugliest. Like taking a look at all 3 of them, I like the way linguine looks the best. To really do my due diligence and figure out the best way to weave pasta, I do need to try the last option, which is making my own pasta. We're making homemade pasta. I am not a chef. I am not a pasta maker. The recipe I'm using is from Love and Lemons, aka the first thing that came up when I typed homemade pasta into Google. If I can get pasta, that's a win. I was gonna try and do this all by hand. I give up. We even got the pasta attachments. We got these guys. We're gonna give them a try. We have our pasta ball. Oh, other side. Ooh. Let's try that again. So you're supposed to fold it over twice. Look who's making pasta. Oh, I'm gonna drop this. That's not gonna be good. Oh God. Okay, you know, I am not a chef. I never claimed to be a chef. That's pasta dough though. Look at him. Let me go and feed the rest of the dough through this machine and then we can start to weave. For 3 eggs and 2 cups of flour, that's a lot of pasta. But we'll start with fresh pasta. Let's weave it. Why is this beautiful? This might be the winner. JK, forget everything I ever said. This is way too, it's breaking already. It was a good attempt, but I think we're gonna have to go cooked. On to test 3, cooked pasta. Okay, Okay, that's not bad actually. This is actually probably the most stable one I've made. Doing one last test because I learned about pasta flour. It's supposed to be stronger or something. Surprise, I once again don't have the patience to knead dough, so. How did I mess up this so bad? It'll work. I'm done of making pasta, man. I made so many things of pasta. I am pastaed out. I'm also only gonna cook it for about 2.5 minutes, so that way it's very al dente and hopefully stronger. Ready to weave. Okay, the stickiness of it holds it together pretty well, but I think this is the weave we're gonna go with. So after a bunch of testing, homemade pasta is gonna be the winner. This is like 2 to 3 days of just making pasta and testing, but now we can finally make the actual woven pasta top. But before we start in the full top, we're taking a quick break to bake a pie and tell you about today's sponsor, Lovin' Pies. And they sent me this little outfit and a little recipe for an apple pie, so we're gonna bake this. So Lovin' Pies is a cozy, free-to-play mobile game that you can just kind of cuddle up with after work and play on your mobile phone or tablet. The game revolves around this heartwarming story about you taking over your mom's cafe, and you play as Amelia, this single mom who just wants to rebuild and redecorate this cafe by merging ingredients and serving customers and creating this thriving small business. Obviously, I'm someone who likes design and likes making things, so my favorite part is getting to redesign my cafe. I went with a very like yellow rustic wood grain feel. Look at that pie filling. For pie crust, we're using pre-made. So if you download or play right now, you can take part in the Pie Pass event. Basically, the town that the game is set in is celebrating its 1000th birthday, so you are sent by the mayor to go and help decorate the square for the big celebration. For each of these seasonal events, you'll unlock new storylines, you'll get new furniture, you'll meet new pets, and of course, you're gonna get a ton of rewards. And now we combine. Oh, she is gonna overflow. My goal is to try and make it look like the ones in the game, so I'm gonna do a little lattice on top. Perfect! And now we put her in the oven. I really do enjoy this game. I'm already level 17 and I'm breaking ground on my 3rd cafe building. Pie is done. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, look at that pie. If you want a cozy mobile game, check out Lovin' Pies. It's available in iOS, Android, and you can download it from the link in the description below. Thank you so much, Lovin' Pies, for sponsoring this video and for this lovely pie recipe. I'll get a bite of this and then we're back to making our pasta dress. That's good. So we finally got the pasta part of this dress figured out. We can move on to the designing part of this dress. I'm gonna sketch out a couple designs real quick, just focusing on simplicity and stuff that will be possible to weave rather than any big fancy design. I think doing a spaghetti strap will be kind of funny because it's spaghetti. This is the one that won, so let's do it and start weaving. The thing about this top is I can't exactly sew different pieces together, so I think the only way I can get a form-fitting shape is if I actually weave the dress on the dress form. So I'm gonna wrap it in saran wrap and then just weave on top of it. Great noodle. That's kind of cute. So basically what I'm doing is I'm figuring out my noodles as if this were a loom, like a weaving loom. I am placing all of my noodles one direction, and then I will go in with the ones in the other direction and weave it in and out. The noodles just keep on breaking. I think I have to make one more batch. This time I'm gonna over knead it. I'm gonna add a little more egg in. I'm gonna use the special noodles. They're gonna be thick noodles, so that way they don't break as easily. Look at how much thicker these noodles, look at how much longer these noodles are. I have a good feeling. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So I'm just gonna go through and lay all my noodles one direction. This is what we got. I know it's just like one way of horizontal stripes, but you start to see the vision. I am currently just about out of pasta. So a little grocery store adventure first. We got like a whole pasta factory up here in Midnight. I'm back, I made a double batch of pasta. Let's get back weaving. And basically all weaving is just going over, under, over, under, over, under. It's not very hard, it's just very tedious. The thicker noodles in the updated recipe really works. This is about 2.5 hours of weaving in. I've got 3 done. Don't stop weaving, oh, oh. It's 2 a.m. Honestly, coming together pretty good. I am worried it's gonna break at any moment, but it's beautiful. That's a win. At this point, the weaving was looking really good, but the shape of the dress form was making the pasta break more. And so I had the brilliant idea to try to take it off the dress form. We're gonna try this. Oh, shoot. Oh, it just turned into noodles again. This might make it a lot easier, or it might ruin it. Taking it off the dress form was a bad idea. I don't want to have to start over. I'm gonna go set this aside for the chickens. I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna go and deal with this in the morning. It does kind of suck when it just doesn't work out. Okay, it is a new day. I am no longer crying over pasta at 4 a.m. Last night, after I mourned the loss of my pasta top, I actually had a great idea to drape a pattern before I start weaving. We're realizing minimal surface area is best. This pasta is not a forgiving fabric. Pasta is actually a terrible fabric. That is a decent top pattern. Is it perfect? No. But is it a top? Yes. I feel it. I think this one's gonna work. Now all I have to do is just make a new batch of pasta and weave it to that pattern. I whipped up a fresh batch of pasta. Let's weave. The hardest part about this whole weaving thing is the edges. You cannot sew them. They keep coming apart. And you can't glue them, you can't sew them, you can't connect them. All you can do is weave them. So what I'm doing with the edges is I left them a little long and I'm just weaving them back into the edge. And it's not perfect, but it does lock them in pretty good. So this is the 2.5 hour update. I got about half done. As I've gotten like close to the end, I've started to question like, why am I doing this? I probably should have thought about this a little harder before I started making it, but it's been about 3.5 hours of straight weaving pasta, but we got a top. Oh my God, I'm done. I did it. I wove it. So now I just get to go and finish it up and finish up the edges and make it look nice. And then I get to wear my pasta top. I don't know if this is gonna be wearable. This is not gonna be pleasant. It's already disgusting. So long as I see this through to the end, I'm calling it a win. There she is. She's a little rough, but I'm calling her done. Don't look at the ends. That is a top made out of 100% pasta. At this point, I am genuinely afraid that the moment I put her on, she is going to absolutely disintegrate. Now it is time for the moment of truth. Can I wear the pasta top? I pretty much only have one shot at this because once you start handling it off a flat surface, the pasta just starts unweaving. I'm gonna keep my swimsuit on under this because I don't trust that not to fall apart. It's delicate. I didn't try this on beforehand. That's actually holding together pretty well. Let me try again with a nude leotard. That's a noodle top. That's a noodle top. This is literally hanging on by like a single noodle, but I'm gonna see if I can get some pretty pictures in my noodle top before it dies. Such high hopes going into this project. It didn't work. The number one issue I'm actually running into is just the weight of the top. The pasta is so heavy and the pasta on top is so weak. You just can't hold it up. I plan to have a whole back of this top done. Broken. I thought this would be like a beautiful pasta gown. It's not ugly. It's just not cute. The decisive conclusion is you can't make pasta into a top. You shouldn't make pasta into a top. And I did it, so no one else should have to. But that is all for this project. It was a bit of a silly idea from the start, but thank you all for coming on this little pasta journey with me, even if it was a bit of a failure in the end. And for folks curious about what happened to all the pasta, or folks worried about food waste, none of this pasta is just being like thrown away. All the tests, I ate that pasta. I kinda undercooked these. And for the stuff that had just too much handling with it, I actually coordinated with my cousin to give it to her chickens. So I went and visited my cousin and gave her chickens a little snack. But I did try and do this project in like the least wasteful, most conscious way possible. But thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment below to let me know if you like these kind of goofier, sillier, unhinged projects, or if you like the more serious, dedicated, detailed cosplay recreations. And if this is your first time seeing my channel, I promise I do make real clothes, not just pasta. This is kind of like a one-off thing. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!